lot of my family blood spilled for this country. I'm not going to let it go to waste. I'm not. I refuse. I did 19 years here as a federal agent in Dade County. I'm just not going to let this country go to waste. And right now it's going to waste. Well, if he gets indoctrinated, January 6th is going to look like a playground. It's going to look like a playground. From the inside voices that I hear from all the militias and everything else, it's going to be a playground. But if they want to fight, bring it. I mean, I watched Kamala Harris in Orlando. I watched Antifa throw bottles, spit on my child, throw stuff at us. They told us to refrain ourselves. Really? Okay. But it is what it is, you know. This country's so left right now, but we got to bring it back to the right. We got to get right on the right path. We got to bring everything back. If we don't, we're going to crumble. We're going to be a third world nation. You know? We have to stand up for that flag. We have to stand up for our beliefs, and we got to put God back in this country. If we forget about him, he's going to forget about us. And right now, we're forgetting him and we're forgetting Israel. We forget both of those. Read your Bible. Read your Bible, because there's a lot of boys like me that are ready. All we need is an order. We're ready.
Hey everybody, it's Troy. Hey listen, violent rhetoric has skyrocketed on the internet since the news of Donald Trump's indictment for espionage. A lot of chatter in right-wing groups has gotten very, very violent. There's been calls for a civil war, predictions of a civil war, users calling it inevitable. This is all on a chat called the Donald. It's a pro-Trump message board called the Donald. That's how pathetic these people are. One user wrote, "Perhaps it's time for a civil war that the damn Democrats have been trying to start for years now." Another one said, "The conflict is inevitable, right around the corner." And then they got really violent, using really ugly language, talking about setting people on fire and just really, really ugly stuff. Posting pictures of Attorney General Merrick Garland's family, saying that his children were not off limits. His children were fair game, as far as I'm concerned, this person wrote. Not going to stop until bodies start stacking up. Just really, really, really ugly stuff happening on the internet, on these pro-Trump right-wing message boards that a lot of these militias use to communicate. This is the sort of chatter that was springing up that led to January 6th, this sort of prepping for civil war type language that was happening on the, sort of the darker parts of the internet that these people dwell. It also doesn't help that we have elected officials using their official congressional Twitter accounts to post really creepy calls for violence. We had Andy Biggs from Arizona, insurrectionist traitor Andy Biggs, just the worst of the worst. He tweeted, "We have now reached a war phase, eye for an eye." And again, this is on his official congressional Twitter account. This is at Rep Andy Biggs AZ. This isn't his private account. This is an official government Twitter account talking about reaching a war phase. The other one was Representative Clay Higgins from Louisiana, saying that, talking about President Trump and summoned to appear at the courthouse, and then he uses really vague sort of military speak here. It took people a long time to kind of figure out what the hell he was talking about, but he said, "This is a perimeter probe from the oppressors. Hold. Our POTUS has this. Buckle up. 1 of 50K, know your bridges, rock steady, calm, that is all." This is both military, police, and sort of militia speak. Perimeter probe would mean that an attack is coming. Hold. Our POTUS, they're speculating, the experts on this, sort of QAnon experts and experts in right-wing violence have been deciphering this message. They think that our POTUS means real POTUS, as in Trump's the real president. 1 of 50K is a reference to military maps. And then know your bridges means, that's militia speak for knock out the bridges. That's militia speak for attack at a local level, know your bridges. So just really, really scary stuff. He hasn't taken that tweet down, but basically calls for violence surrounding the courthouse Tuesday, 3 p.m. So they've they've been sending out these messages to their supporters to come to the courthouse. Donald Trump then sent out a truth saying, "See you in Miami on Tuesday." So Trump also calling for around the time that a lot of this violent language is happening on the internet. Trump sends out this truth on Truth Social saying, "See you in Miami on Tuesday," and he posts this invite that was created by the one of the MAGA boat parade people, the boat rally people, the organizers of the boat rally, put together this sort of invitation saying all hands on deck, document hoax rally. So there are official things going out about a rally, about a pro-Trump rally around the courthouse at the same time that Higgins, called for basically on right-wing militias to attack the courthouse. So now we have an official rally being organized by the Trump boat rally people. Then this came out from the Proud Boys. Another sort of rally invitation came out supporting President Trump at the courthouse. Come and bring banner supporting Trump. So this is the Proud Boys sending this out. So not only do we have the MAGA boat parade people organizing a protest, but we also have the Proud Boys involved now, telling their people to come to the courthouse in Miami. So this is an official thing now with MAGA. MAGA will be there. There will be a rally protest. Possibly the protest in New York for the first indictment. Trump called his people to New York. And that was a little bit of a dud. No one really showed up for that, except for Marjorie Taylor Greene, who famously got run out of Manhattan on a rail by local citizens. This might be different, though. This is a much more intense indictment investigation. Plus, it's on Trump's home turf in South Florida. A lot more supporters able to get to South Florida to this courthouse, near Mar-a-Lago in conservative Florida. And this is kind of MAGA territory. So this is a much more dangerous situation, potentially. And then there's good old Kari Lake, MAGA lunatic, failed candidate for governor of Arizona, who's just been spending all of her time suing, trying to get that election overturned. One failed lawsuit after another, just trying to prove some sort of fraud in Arizona that wasn't there. Essentially just auditioning to be Trump's potential running mate, vice presidential candidate in 2024. That's what she really, really wants, is to be Trump's VP candidate. But she's been having a classic few days. First, she was speaking at this event, and she said that if you want to get to Trump, you're going to have to go through me, and 75 million Americans like me, and most of us are card-carrying members of the NRA. Take a listen.
I have a message tonight for Merrick Garland and Jack Smith and Joe Biden. And the guys back there in the fake news media, you should listen up as well. This one's for you. If you want to get to President Trump, you're going to have to go through me, and you're going to have to go through 75 million Americans just like me. And I'm going to tell you, yep, most of us are card-carrying members of the NRA. That's not a threat. That's a public service announcement.
Sick, bizarre, cult-like behavior from an absolute lunatic, Kari Lake. But it doesn't stop there. And then she showed up to the Georgia Republican Convention wearing a shirt that has what is a famous meme. A lot of us have never even seen stuff like this before. Because we're not crazy and we're not in right-wing cults, right-wing militias. But she's wearing this T-shirt. This is a picture of Andrew Breitbart, founder of Breitbart, the sort of right-wing news site, with the words "war." This was a meme shared a lot in the dark recesses of the right-wing internet. She's wearing this T-shirt with this meme of Breitbart in the words "war," and that comes from this video, which is very famous in right-wing circles.
Have gone out there against the mainstream media and said, "You're going to call us racist? You're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs? Fuck you." War.
So again, on the day that Trump is indicted. You have a lot of militia, a lot of right-wing people on the internet calling for civil war, saying really, really violent, horrible things about Jack Smith and Merrick Garland, and Democrats talking about starting the civil war that's inevitable. You have Carrie Lake issuing a direct threat to Attorney General Garland and Jack Smith and to the news media, and wearing this T-shirt that's a meme, it's a right-wing meme, that basically insinuating a call for civil war. You have members of Congress talking about starting a civil war, openly calling for violence, as the Proud Boys are inviting their people to come to the courthouse in Miami on Tuesdays. This has the potential to get really, really ugly really fast. And all this as news is coming out that Unabomber Ted Kaczynski has passed away in prison. He died in prison. When news of that broke out, R.I.P. Ted started trending on Twitter, along with Uncle Ted, which is what the right-wingers call him, with a lot of sympathetic messages for a man, a domestic terrorist who murdered people in the name of his bizarre right-wing ideology. So right-wing terrorism, domestic terrorism, alive and well in the United States in the decades after Ted Kaczynski sort of kicked it all off with right-wing domestic terrorism doing what he did in the United States. Right-wing terrorism is alive and well. MAGA right-wing extremists, white supremacists is the biggest domestic terrorist threat, the biggest threat to national security on the domestic front, according to the Department of Justice and the FBI. And we're seeing a lot of that play out now in the hours and days following the Trump indictment. So we all need to be vigilant, we need to be safe, and we need to keep an eye on what these people are doing, because this has the potential to get really ugly really fast. For MeidasTouch, this is Troy. Remember, smash that subscribe button to keep supporting independent media.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.